looking in on this project, it seems to me like the really important things here, it's not even necessarily the quality of the video, the quality of the audio. It's the continuation of Healthy Arts, engaging people.
The lockdown gave us the time and the space to really think about our business model. And part of this project was about redefining our purpose, because Healthy Arts has always worked with the arts for well-being.
It opens up this whole possibility of us being able to reach people who don't live anywhere near here. And that's great on many different levels, because it promotes Healthy Arts, it promotes the arts, but it also promotes the North.
It's been a time where I've really had to explore what has been possible and how to adapt to not just doing things live. And it was tough to begin with, but I really feel that my experience of it has kind of reflected what I think is the sector's experience of it, where everybody has just had to adapt and we've had to find new ways, and really, in a way, our creativity, everyone's creativity, has really shone because of the position that we've been in.
So it's been great to try and transpose what I normally do into a digital world. And also I wrote a new poem for it. So I got a new poem out of it for my children's book. So that was amazing.
The 2020 Vision project was really helpful for me just because it was work, and that was that felt really important at a time where all of my work had stopped, as well as everyone else's. So I think that made me feel valuable.
We are the people who work with people, and there's so many big organisations around who are coming around to the fact that it's with the artists that you connect to people. So I think that's the power of a group like Healthy Arts, that we're all artists here.
You know, and we're hoping that we'll be able to reach those people that we've not been able to reach before, that they couldn't get to our workshops because of accessibility particularly, or because they don't live around here as well. You know, and that's great that we'll be able to reach people further afield. And, you know, it's not just about creating work, it's about reaching people, isn't it? And using that creativity and improving people's lives, you know, through these videos.
I think being creative also requires us to follow what's called the 5 steps to well-being, which are connecting, being active, taking notice, keeping on learning, and giving.
This was what was so good about this project, because it seemed to be about finding a new way to sustain people's creativity in very unprecedented times, really.
Sometimes it can be as simple as it being a distraction, an enjoyable distraction, using a different bit of your brain, different kind of motor functions, that it can be an escape when everything else is a bit pants, as well as being kind of used in a deeper way where you can use creativity to work through issues or problems and kind of build things like confidence and well-being through achievement.
I mean, everyone was fantastic to work with. Everyone was very open. Everyone could, you know, knew the subject. So it was a pleasure to film.
I think that I learned a lot about planning, organisation.
So making sure that you were succinct and covered everything, because there was no chance for questions. That I think that was the worry. That there was something that's like, oh, I didn't mention about the colour of thread, you know, when I watched it back, kind of thing. That trying to think of every single question and possibilities, and somebody going, excuse me, I don't have. And so trying to think of all the different problems and permutations.
I think all of the artists, I think they realise that it's quite difficult, even when you do things, you know, live with an audience. As soon as a little red light goes on the camera, there's this extra difficulty that you have. You just clam up, as an artist, And I think that it was a great experience for all of them. I think they overcame that the initial shock of being on film,
But what was really interesting was that I would, in a live setting, I would almost always decide what to do based on who I was going to be doing it with. And not knowing exactly who the audience was going to be for this was a really interesting challenge for me. And I think I've learned an awful lot about that.
I really felt like I was doing what I do as an artist in this film, which I can't always do on a creative walk because I'm following the interests of the group. So, yeah, it was, I miss my participants, but it was really positive.
This was the first experience I had of filming a longer lesson, and in terms of working out which games, which I would normally use to stimulate imagination, could work over film. And now I'm getting asked to do more and more. So it's great in terms of developing your practice to do a film like this, because actually lots of organisations want them at the moment.
I think it's a really good little springboard now. I think that Healthy Arts has got these first, they know how to do this online thing now. So they've got these first few videos out, and I think it's a springboard. I think it's it's kind of a medium that could be great, in the future for other projects.
And people just expect that as soon as we're in lockdown, what's the first thing they do? They turn to films, they turn to music, they turn to drawing and art. And they don't seem to realize that needs to be created, that needs to come from somewhere. And hopefully that this sort of thing illustrates how much this sort of thing is important.
To get this commission where we were supported with filmmakers, we didn't have to edit ourselves, and we were paid, it made us feel kind of valued. So thank you very much.
I'm really proud of the website now, so I think we'll be singing and dancing about it a lot more than we were before, and using it and our YouTube channel to do this sort of work that will reach a wider audience, but also complement what we do in real life when we can get back to delivering normally.
And just that rethinking completely the way you communicate online. It's been, amazing.
It's so important to support those freelancers, especially maybe early career ones that need that support and that nurturing to get their head around funding bids or working as a group and not being in isolation.
If you've enjoyed watching the Old Courts Live and you'd like to make a donation to support the work we do, please head over to www.theoldcourts.com/donate. This year's been incredibly difficult for most arts organisations, and we're no different. But with a huge effort and support from you and from our funders, we've managed to secure our organisation and the jobs of every staff member. We've also provided 343 artists with paid work for the Old Courts Live. and our volunteers have delivered over 700 food parcels and made 600 calls to isolated local residents. But the battle isn't over yet. We're currently closed to the public with zero income, and we don't know how long this closure is going to last. If you can help by making a donation, then you're helping to secure your arts centre